everybody, how are you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Emily and I am the artist behind Fantastical Finishes and I'm a furniture artist. Today we are going to talk about the hardware to this piece, and I have this right here. They are really cool. They're original to this piece from like the late 1800s, but it's kind of grungy. Here, let me bring you in. It's kind of grungy, but we're gonna learn how to clean it to make it all shiny and how it was when this piece was first made. So, if that sounds like something you want to learn, go ahead, keep watching, hit that like, subscribe, give me a comment, and let's get going. Alright, so we are in my kitchen right now, and there's a couple things you're going to want to get to clean your hardware. First, I just got this kind of not old, it's brand new actually, but I bought this really cheap pan from Target, this cheap pot, because when you clean your hardware, the pan's gonna get pretty nasty and you don't want to use that for food or anything else. So go ahead and get a pan you don't mind getting gross and use that pot or pan just for hardware and stuff. Don't mix it with food and other things because it's gross. We don't want to contaminate ourselves, you know? So yeah, simple pot, pretty cheap because it's gonna get messed up anyways. The next thing that I got is this big honkin' thing of vinegar, and this is distilled white vinegar, and this is what you're gonna want to use to clean your hardware. And guys, this thing was like $2.50 for this whole jug. So super cheap, really easy, and guess what else you need? Water, vinegar, and a pot that you don't mind getting messy, and then your stove. That's it. So let's do this.
Okay, so I accidentally lied a little bit earlier. There are two more things you're going to want. A measuring cup, if you feel like measuring, or you can eyeball it, but I will use a measuring cup. And later on, you will see that I'm also going to be using some brushes, and there are these wire brushes for scrubbing. And those are all the things that you're going to need. Just a couple things really, but my bad. I should have said that in the beginning. So here I am measuring 2 cups of white vinegar, and I'm going to put that in the pot. So what you need is a half and half concoction of vinegar and water. So if I'm going to put 2 cups of vinegar, I'm also going to use 2 cups of water. 3 cups of vinegar is 3 cups of water. So the same amount, both parts. I also like to start with my hardware in the pan before I add the liquid, so then I know how much liquid I need to cover the hardware. And then I go ahead and turn my stove on to high and let that puppy heat up to a boil. The vinegar can give off a strong smell, so if you have a vent, I would highly recommend turning that on so your house or apartment or wherever you are doesn't get full of that vinegar smell, because it can be quite overpowering. Now that my liquid has come to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and leave that at a boil for about 20 to 30 minutes. And this is important. You want that time and the heat to get rid of the crud off of your piece. So really keep it boiling for 20 to 30 minutes. I know it kind of seems excessive, but trust me, it will work. All right, let's check back. It has been about 25 minutes. Do you see all of that brown stuff that came off the hardware? You guys, that stuff on the side of the pans came from the hardware. Gross. Remember how I said we'd use like a wire bristle brush? Well, that's what it looks like. I have 3 different types I'm going to try out later, and that's what we're going to use to scrub the hardware. I transferred my hot pan to the sink and I poured cold water into it because it's hot. So guys, please be careful. Don't burn yourself. That's never fun. I rinsed it out thoroughly, and then I went ahead, after rinsing it out, dumped all that extra liquid down the drain. And this is my paint sink, so I'm not too worried about it getting gross. So keep that in mind as well. Alright, here we have our hardware at the bottom of the sink here laid out so you can see what we're working with. So again, I have 3 different wire brushes, and I wanted to try each one of them with you so I can show you kind of the results that you can get with 3 different wire brushes. This brass wire brush definitely was the softest out of the three, so I did find out that it took a little bit longer to scrub all the crud off of these handles, but it still worked. It just took a little bit longer because the bristles are a little softer. And guys, don't be afraid to really put your elbow into that and really scrub these pieces. You're not going to scratch or damage them, but you do need a bit of elbow grease to get off all of those years and years and years of dirt and whatever else kind of just made those hardware turn to a brown color. Ugh. It's important to scrub these pieces front and back and try and get all the little nooks and crannies because we really want to bring the original look of it back to life. So take your time, and if you're like, oh, this takes a while, well, it just takes a bit of work, but the end result, I swear, and I will show you, and I will promise you it's going to be so satisfying. I'm about done cleaning my first piece of hardware, and I wanted to go ahead and show you what it looks like with using this brass brush. So I'm going to bring you in closer to show you how she turned out. And here she is. Oh, wow, she's so shiny and pretty now. Yay! Next, I'm going to use my black wire brush, and this is the nylon bristle wire brush. And this one is definitely more stiff than the brass one is, so it did seem to clean it a little bit easier because of how stiff the wire bristles were. And this one was my second favorite one to use out of the three for sure. But I'm going to do the same process as I did with the brass wire brush. It just took a little less time, but I'm going to make sure to scrub it super well and really get into all the nooks and crannies front and back to make her shine up again. And here's what it looks like with the nylon wire bristle brush, and I did like using this one. But let's go ahead and use our stainless steel, guys. So here we have the last of the three, and again, it's a stainless steel brush. And go ahead, again, same, use that elbow grease and really scrub until you see the shininess come through. But I did like this one the best. It had some really nice stiff bristles, and it did clean it really well. So this is the brush that I chose to use for the rest of the hardware pieces. So if you're trying to decide on what wire brush to get, I would definitely say this one was my favorite. But try them out for yourself too, because you might have a different favorite, but that's just the one I ended up going with and the one I ended up liking the most. And here is what this hardware looks like with the stainless steel one, and it's just really shiny and pretty. I love it. A win for the stainless steel. This hardware piece is the only one that's different from the other 7, and it went on the top drawer, but it was even different than the second handle on the same drawer. So it's also missing a handle, so I'm just still going to clean it, but I'm actually not going to use this piece. I'm going to save it and maybe use it for a future piece. I'm instead going to use a unique set of hardware on the top drawer by itself because it's the skinniest drawer, so I think that's going to look great anyways. It's going to stand out a little bit more with different hardware. Alright, let me just show you what some hard work will get you. Look at the before right here on the right, how brown that is. And look at the after, how shiny it is. Before, right here, so brown, kind of grungy. But look at this, look at that hard work. Oh, can I get you here? There we are. Look at how shiny. I'm so happy with how it turned out. All that's left to do is to use our wire brush and scrub the remaining pieces. But now that we know how the before and after looks, we're just that much more excited to get them done, to see them all together. So here we go. Here we go. Let's clean them. And here we go, our pieces we worked on and cleaned, and they're just beautiful again and not grungy. I am so happy.
And there you have it. We cleaned our hardware, and very pretty and nice. And I love how it turned out. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, and give me a comment if you liked what you saw, or if you want just to tell me something, or tell me what you want to see in the future. I hope you have a fantastical day. I'll see you next time. Bye!